let's have a look at my top 10 cover picks from the SPFBO9 competition. Hello everyone, welcome back to A Fictional Escapist. My name is Kris, and today's video is a little bit different. I'm in a bit of a different scenario. I'm actually at the desk. Normally I'm in front of the bookcase, which is over here, which is covered in stuff at the moment because we've just moved back into this house after a month of house sitting. So today I'm going to go through my top 10 cover picks from the SPFBO9 competition. There's 300 books in the competition. I will say before we jump into this, I have not included any book that I had previously read in this particular set of covers, so I've gone ahead and picked 10 books which are going to be new to me going through this competition. And far out, indie and self-pub covers are so good. They're at the top of the cover game that it was really hard to pick just 10, but I've done it and I've picked my 10 favorites. Before we jump into the video, make sure you're checking the description box down below for links to my social media and Discord should you want to come along for the ride. Now, another reason we're in this situation is because I am going to swap screens and screen share so I can talk about the covers that I have picked, and we're going to go from number 10 right down to number 1 and have a look at why I have picked those and why they're in that place. So, without any further ado, let's jump in to the competition. So I'm going to jump back and forth basically for all of these. So I apologize if this video is a little bit jumpy. In place number 10, we have got The Certainty of Blood. This is by Tim Frankovic, and I hope I pronounce all these names correctly. I do apologize if I butcher any of them. Please know the butchering is not intended. Now, this cover just got me on the WTF factor. Have you ever just looked at a cover and gone, what is actually happening there? And I kind of need to know about it. Anytime there is a dinosaur on a fantasy cover, I'm pretty much going to pick that up and put it on a TBR because I'm very intrigued. I like the fighting stance that we happen here. We look like we're in some sort of arena situation, and there's a dinosaur which is bigger than the man with the blade, and I am all in. I just want to know what is happening in The Certainty of Blood. So you will see a couple of these also on my TBR, which is probably coming out earlier than this video. I'm not sure which one is going to come out first at the end of the day, just with filming time and whatnot, because both may be pretty long videos. So I will be reading this one at some point over the next 12 months, and I have to know what's going on in this picture. Anyway, jumping into number 9 of Sealed Empire. I hate the ocean. I'm terrified of the ocean, and for some reason, I like nautical fantasy. I like things that go bump in the night in the sea just to keep me terrified for the real life situation. So if I'm ever at the beach, I'm thinking about this thing and going, absolutely not am I getting in that water. There is no way in hell. I don't even care about sharks. I care about these friggin' tentacruel sci-fi looking beasties and the storms. It's a no from me. Everything about this cover terrifies me. There is not one element here in which I go, that looks calm and delightful. Maybe I will have a great time reading this. No, it looks like I'm going to get scared, and I'm all about it. So this one does have my attention. I like the realistic style of the waves, and I like also the scary thing in the background. I want to know what that's about. So that's number 9. I really enjoy this cover. I don't think this one is on my immediate TBR, but I have bought it, as you can see up there, to read at some point in my lifetime. Moving on to number 8, I believe, because I can count things. Yes, this is number 8. The First and Last Demon. This is by Hiyodori. Now, I love the art style in this one. I've read the blurb. I don't think the book is going to be for me, but I definitely do love this cover. I like this almost calligraphy style cover where the brushstrokes all look individual. It's quite artistic. We've got the woman's face here and that just splash of blue coming through for a tiny bit of color. And it just looks like a painting that I would actually have on my wall. It's so beautiful. It's quite unique in terms of those brushstrokes. You can see, if you look quite closely at the cover, where all those individual strokes have occurred. and I think it's quite a mesmerizing cover. So I really like this one. I've actually recommended this book to a friend of mine because of the blurb. I said, look at this cover, look at this blurb, I think you're going to be into it. So, I mean, I have not purchased this one to read personally, but I have recommended it just off the blurb and the cover. So, it works. You have a good cover, I'll read the blurb, and then I'll recommend it to a friend. So I really, really do like this cover for the first and last demon. Up at number 7, we've got the Bone Spear by Alexander Lane. This is just something else. This is so stunning. I love these dark colors in the background with a floral aesthetic, and the bones with the sword through it just makes me want to know what's happening in this story. We've got some beautiful colors coming through from that dark background, and it really makes those colors pop. This was definitely one that caught my attention straight away when I was looking at the covers before even looking at the blurb. I adore this. Again, it looks like a painting that could be up in someone's home. It is so beautiful, and I really hope that people enjoy the story when they get to it. I don't know when I'll be getting to it, but at some point in my life, this has got my attention enough that I want to see what's happening here. It reminds me a little bit of The Briar Crown by Helen Rigg Pedersen, which I can't pronounce correctly. Sorry, Helen. And had I not read that book would have likely been on this competition as well, because it is another gorgeous cover with the dark background and those florals coming through. I think this is quite a unique cover that Leanne has put through, and I love it. Up at number 6, I've got the Cataclysm. This is the Cataclysm series book 1 by Aaron Jackson. Now, the name Aaron Jackson has intrigued me for a little while now. I will be buying this one because it is also on the TBR, and there's something about this very simple design which has caught my eye. It is the coloring of the background. It is the lone person in the middle, which seems to be overlooking some sort of vast land. I'm getting sort of deserty vibes because of the coloring in the situation, but the simplicity is what has drawn my eye to this cover and has made me not look away. Once I read the blurb, I was 100% in for this book and putting it on my SPFBO TBR, but the cover is definitely what sold me here. It's simple, it's eye-catching, and I think that the artist has done such a good job of portraying the light. So the way that the light catches this person's head and then works down the body into the shadow, I think the contrast has been done really well, and it does make your eyes go from top to bottom to take in that entire picture. And I thought the simplicity really worked in this situation. The rest of the series also has great covers, but this one is definitely my favorite of the 3. Jumping into the top 5 now, we've got number 5 at Hills of Heather and Bone. This is by K.E. Andrews, and I did purchase this one this morning at the time of filming. It's just stunning, and then you read the blurb and you're like, I don't know if this is as soft and delightful as this cover is, and that intrigues me a whole hell of a lot. I really love the use of purple in this cover. I think it is beautiful. It frames this who I presume is a couple in this situation so well, again centered nicely, but not taking up the entire book cover, so that you get to see those aesthetics that are both behind and in front of them. The font really works. Again, it's got this gentle sort of vibe coming through the cover, and I just want to know what's happening here. I'm expecting some sort of sweet romance throughout a fantasy story, just from what I've heard from other people have said, but this cover once again just took my breath away. And you'll see this with my top 5, that I've really picked covers where the color just pops and it's unapologetic and it just out there. And I think this is such a gentle and loving color. Again, we've got that light hitting the grass in the background if you look slightly to the center of the cover, and just really framing that aesthetic of the mountains behind them. We've got the tree in front, and this just looks like a beautiful scene that even my cold, dead heart wouldn't mind experiencing. At number 4, we have got Daughter of the Beast by E.C. Greaves. This is book 1 of the Vishivka trilogy. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. This book is definitely giving me Esker Halcyon vibes, and I'm absolutely here for it. Again, we've got a huge pop of color. I'm looking at the young girl looking at this beast, and we seem like we've got some sort of folklore happening here. I'm getting dark fantasy horror vibes, and that red with the battle sort of looking to take place just has me so excited to pick this book up. Again, you can see I've purchased this one a little while ago. I think the day after the competition came out, I went and did a bit of a spending spree on cover buys, and this was definitely one of them. The covers for the entire series are stunning. They just all follow suit in different color schemes, and I personally love that when you've got different colors for different books, all in a similar art style. I love that we've got this frosted ground, which complements the dress that this person is wearing, and then the red hair going into the horrific scene behind with the forest situation. I'm all in. I like the forest, I like the beast, I like the red, I like the white. This is a great cover and definitely caught my attention. Jumping into number 3, we have Kill Your Darlings by L.E. Harper. Now, once again, this is a blurb which hasn't really caught my attention personally for my own reading taste, but far out is this cover beautiful. The blue, the white, the blacks, the gold, the red, it all just works together and pulls the eye in. I want to know what is happening to this young person who is dripping blood onto the title here and has some sort of, I don't know whether there's sci-fi elements in this book, but we've got some sort of magic, I guess, being projected from behind this person who is floating in the screen. I think this is absolutely beautiful. Again, we've got those simplistic touches which really just draw the eye and make you want to jump into this story. I don't have too much more to say on this one except that it's just stunning. Again, that simplicity, but with the combination of colors and the placement of the colors, particularly with that blood dripping down off the K there, you've got my attention just from the cover alone. We are moving into the top 2 here. So the top 2, my second pick for the cover competition is an absolute stunner. This is Sul, From Gold to Iron and Rust by J. Davis and K. Grierson. This has caught my attention since before it was in the competition, since release day. I think I borrowed it very close to release day on Kindle Unlimited. I'm going to go ahead and buy it so that someone else can borrow this because I don't know when I'm going to read it. I don't think it's on the SPFBO TBR that I've picked out just yet. I have to go back and have a look. But this cover intrigues me. We have got a god-like character with some sort of, it looks like almost henna on the hands coming down, and that is dripping down into this body of what I presume is water. I'm not sure, it could be magic. And then we have these smaller characters looking up that are being this god's juices dripping down onto them. And then we've just got that yellow. It is so vibrant. The use of yellow with the on the godlike creature itself or godlike deity, whatever, also just pulls this cover together. So not only have we got this beautiful pop in the background, we've complemented that with other tones of yellow from the people down in the, I'm going to call it a body of water, from the font to the badge that's on this entity's body, and then the yellow of the eyes. It really just makes you dive in and need to know, coupled with the title itself, From Gold to Iron and Rust. We're starting with the gold. So I just think there is nothing about this which I can fault. This is one of the best covers that I personally have seen, that I personally would rate in my entire reading life, and I just think it is absolutely stunning. So, what can top that? You might be asking yourself, what is Kris's number 1 cover from the SPFBO9 competition? Let's find out. At number 1, I have put The Gallery for the Barbarian from Taylor Hartley, and this is the Violetto Papers Volume 1. I just the obscurity of it is amazing. Again, we've got that pop of color, that very vibrant purple on Death, or the skeleton, I'm presuming it's Death, to the wallpaper behind it. This cover is so intricate, but you could just look at it and go, that's weird and I like it. But if you actually take the time to look at what's happening here, there are so many elements that just work. Again, we have coupled that, so we've got the purples, we've got the intricacy of the actual wallpaper. It looks like it's somebody's home wallpaper from many years ago that you would walk down the hallway and say, I know that wallpaper, because you do, it's on this book. And then we've got the artistic work behind it of the painting of the Barbarian, which is just beautiful. It is coupled as well with this gorgeous gold trim, which matches the font for the gallery folder up the top, which complements quite well. And then we have a shading of the gold for Barbarian, followed by the white. I think aesthetically, this not only is it bizarre, and I just want to know what's going on here, but it really does capture my eye and make me want to go in and find out what's in the gallery for the Barbarian. What's in this gallery that I need to know? Those are my top 10 covers. What do you think? What are your top 10 covers? Or give me your top 3. What is your top cover? Whatever. What cover have you absolutely loved from this competition? Has anything caught your eye and you've picked it up purely based on cover? I know we are all shallow at some points in our reading lives, and we're just going to pick up books for covers and hope for the best. We've all done it. I do not judge you. Please do not judge me. Those are my cover picks for the SPFBO9 competition. Let me know your picks, like I said, down below. If you like the content, give it one of those. If you want to see more of it, click subscribe at your will, and I'll catch you in the next video. Ciao.